In this video, we'll install the Workspace ONE Access Connector. With this connector, Workspace ONE Access can be the identity provider that authenticates end users, authorizes their access to virtual desktops and apps, and provides single sign-on. This setup integrates with other Workspace ONE services, such as Workspace ONE UEM and Horizon Cloud Service Next Gen. This video is part of a series I'm doing on setting up a test environment. With that in mind, I'll mention that I'm using a Windows Server 2022 virtual machine to install the connector. Also, you need the .NET Framework 4.8 installed, or else the installer will complain and prompt you to install it. To quickly check here, in Server Manager, go to Manager, Add Roles and Features. Click Server Selection in the panel, and Features, and we can see that .NET Framework 4.8 is indeed installed. To see exactly which components, click the expander arrow. I think this is good. If not, the installer wizard will tell us. And looking at the VM specs here in vCenter Server, you can see that the virtual machine has 4 CPUs, 12 gigs of RAM, and 100 gigs of disk space. These are the minimum requirements for a small deployment if you plan to install all 4 of the connector services on one machine. For complete information, see the product documentation topic called Omnissa Access Connector System Requirements. Okay, so now I'm opening a browser on the machine where I want to download the installer. But you can also download this stuff on a different machine and then copy it to the machine where you want to run it. In the Access console, click the Integrations tab and then Connectors. And New. To download the installer, click Go to Customer Connect. You might be prompted to log into the Customer Connect site before they let you get to the product download page. Download the Workspace ONE Access standalone connector installer for Windows. Although you might be tempted to run the installer at this point, don't do it. You need the configuration file first. So go back to the wizard in your browser, click Next, and then create a password that you will use when you later run the installer. The requirements are listed on the wizard page. Then click Download Configuration File and click Next. On the summary page, click Close. Now you can go into the file system on the machine where you want to run the installer. If you didn't download the installer directly to the machine, copy the installer and configuration files to it. Now, I should also mention that this machine needs to be joined to the Active Directory domain, and it needs a static IP address. And I'm logged in as a domain user that is also part of the administrator group on this Windows server. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to right-click and run the installer as an administrator. On the Welcome page, click Next. Accept the license agreement and click Next. These are the 4 services that are getting installed. For this test environment, we're going to install them all on the same server. There's the directory sync service for syncing to the on-prem Active Directory, the user auth service for doing user authentication, and there's a couple of other services for doing other fancy types of authentication if you like. Click Next. Here's where you enter that password you created just before you downloaded the configuration file. Notice the path to the configuration file. This default is correct because the file got downloaded to the same folder as the installer. Click Next. We're going to use the default installation, but if you need to change which ports are used for what, or if you want to use a proxy or configure a syslog server, you could do the custom installation. Now for this domain account that you'll use for a service account, the safest way is to quick browse and then click browse again to select the domain and the user. I'm in a test environment, so I'm just going to use myself, but it's best to use a service account. Then enter the password for that user. Click Next, and you are ready to install. Click Install. I've sped this up quite a bit, and when the wizard is done, click Finished. Search for the Services app and open it. And lo and behold, all those services are now running. Yay! If we go back to the Workspace ONE Access console and refresh the browser page, we now see all 4 services are active. In the next video in this series, we'll synchronize Active Directory user groups with Workspace ONE Access. For more technical resources, be sure to visit techzone.omnissa.com.